Good morning. I'm in Chania in Greece on the island of Crete, and I'm going to go get some coffee and a pastry for breakfast and then come back and do some work online, some video editing, and probably that will take till nearly lunchtime. And then hopefully this afternoon after a nap I'm planning on going out to the lighthouse and check out the lighthouse, assuming we have good weather. I had a productive morning this morning. Had a nice breakfast, took coffee back to the hostel and just sat and worked on my laptop. Got a bunch of video editing done, answered some emails, making plans over the next few days. Tomorrow I fly back from Crete, the island of Crete, to Athens, where I'll be spending one night, and then after that I'll be flying to the next country, so I'll keep you a little bit in suspense for a couple of days. Anyway, so I'm headed out to get some lunch now, hopefully find some sort of Greek food, maybe a gyro, maybe something else, and get myself some lunch, then probably take a nap, and then after that I'm hoping that we have some good weather and I'll head out and see the lighthouse today. Pita place that I can get a gyro in a pita. It's called Roy Melly. So I'm going to go inside and get a gyro and probably a drink and sit down for a nice lunch. Hello. I have a gyro in pita and fanta. Pork.
Everything.
Everything.
And a Apollo.
I really like this place for lunch. You can get a nice pita for about $2.60, I think, plus your drink. It comes in a little under 4 euros. It's a pretty good deal. It's not quite as big as some of the other gyros I've had in other cities, but it's still healthy, generous size. This is more average for what I've had in Greece. So I've got a nice little room here. Actually have it all to myself. Right now it's just exactly 12 o'clock noon, so I imagine other people are just getting off work and headed here for their lunches. I'm going to head back to the hostel. The forecast for today is I think a 30 or 40% chance of rain and some pretty dark clouds up there, so I think it's probably likely. We'll just have to see after my nap. I'm hoping to head out to the lighthouse, but if it's raining I'll probably hold off on that. Well, it's been raining now for about 2 or 3 hours, and it's late afternoon, almost early evening. Looks like I'm not going to be able to really get out today. Of course, I could do it with an umbrella and a raincoat, but I've really seen the downtown area, the old town here before, and I've seen the lighthouse, just not walked actually out to it. I think I'm just going to stay in and read and maybe watch a video today, do a little bit of work online, and have a relaxing day. At the end of my videos, I typically give a couple of expressions, things to encourage people. One is savor the moment. I talked about that yesterday. The next one that I mention is to be happy. And the reason I say that is because I personally believe being happy is a choice. It's just how you choose to view the world. Every single day we will have a certain amount of suffering or experiences that we dislike for whatever reason. And then we will have a certain amount of experiences that same day that we like or that we find pleasurable. So every day is a mix in some ratio, and it's just choosing during that day to view it as a day you hate or where you're miserable. You choose not to be happy. Or maybe you have a high level of pleasurable events, you're on a vacation, you're going to water parks, you are with somebody you love, experiences that you're really enjoying, and you choose to see that day because of the great number of experiences that are pleasurable as a happy day. So I believe happiness is a choice. It's a personal choice in just how you choose to view your day. And a lot of times it's just based on that ratio going back and forth. Do you have a greater number of pleasurable things or a greater number of suffering or sorrow things? And really this goes back to some of the concepts of Buddhism. And I'm not here on this vlog or this YouTube channel to try to push Buddhism on you. That's not it at all. It just so happens that some of the concepts of Buddhism align with just general concepts in therapy sessions in Western culture about happiness. And really that comes down to looking at your personal choices and how you want to view the world. For instance, viewing things in the past, a horrific experience or a difficult experience that you went through as a child, or a stressful experience, abandonment by parents, whatever that might be, and choosing to view that thing that happened in the past today and how it affects you today, rather than the events that are happening to you right now. But happiness, in my opinion, comes down to a simple choice. Though the glass is half full of water or half empty. Your particular day, you have a certain amount of experiences that are pleasurable, a certain amount of experiences that are suffering. Which ones are you going to choose to focus on? Are you going to be grateful and happy and appreciative for the number of experiences that you have are pleasant or pleasurable? And that may be things that you don't even think about, like maybe somebody slammed the door on your fingers and you got fired from your job, and you had a breakup when you got home with your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever the situation is, and so you view this day as a terrible, rotten day. But the fact might be that you still have an apartment or you have a house to live in, that you still have parents who love you, or that you still have your health, you still have a means of income, or you still have a certain amount of things in your life that are so much better and so much greater than someone else. There will always be somebody else in the world who is suffering far, far greater than you. You look at some of the Helen Keller quotes and how she viewed life. That's a great example of choosing to view life for happiness. Last words that I'll close with, just basically talking about my personal formula for happiness. One is how you view the world, and looking at each day as a certain number of events that are suffering, a certain number of events that are pleasurable or ones that you enjoy, and choosing to be happy and focus and be grateful for those events. And that's my formula, is looking at this moment right now and excluding the future, excluding the past, and then weighing this moment and just choosing to focus and look at all the pleasurable, great things that you have going on and be appreciative for that, be grateful for that. Those are the two things: acceptance of your current situation, that it will have both suffering and pleasure. So acceptance and gratitude. So acceptance plus gratitude equals happiness, in my opinion. So acceptance of all the good and the bad, if you want to label things good and bad, pleasurable, suffering, and accepting those, that there's both going to be there. And then add into that being grateful for all those amazing things that you might have in your life, looking at those pleasurable things and also looking at those things that cause you suffering. If you didn't have those, you wouldn't have that opposite end of the spectrum of things that are really awesome. And I think that those two combine together: acceptance, gratitude equal happiness, and it's a choice. So those are my thoughts for the day. And in closing, that's all I have. Be grateful for everything, be happy, savor the moment, and pursue your passions. I'll talk about that later. That's all I have for this episode.